If you are looking to build a PC yourself and you want the best one for your budget, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to show you 4 different PC builds for 4 different budgets and for all resolutions. I will also explain to you what these PCs are capable of running. That way, even if you are a beginner, you are able to understand me. And if your budget is not featured in this video, don't worry about it, because down below in the video description, you will have all of these PCs, but you will also have bonus systems for different budgets. So everyone gets a system on this video. With that being said, let's start. With the first PC, we have the $750 1080p Ultra and 1440p high gaming desktop. This one has the AMD Ryzen 5 5600 for the CPU, which is a great 6-core 12-thread processor that is going to do an amazing job at 1080p and 1440p resolution. And then for the GPU, we have the RX 6700 XT, which has 12 gigs of VRAM, and it's an amazing value GPU if you want to play at 1080p ultra settings any game, or you want to start playing at 1440p. You will be able to achieve a 60 plus FPS on average experience at 1440p high to ultra settings depending on the game. And for esports titles at 1080p, you will be able to achieve 200 plus FPS on average. I'm talking about games like Valorant, CS2 and Fortnite. So if you want a 1080p 240Hz monitor, you will be able to take advantage of it with this PC as well. For the rest of the components, you get an aftermarket CPU cooler that's going to cool down the Ryzen 5 5600 and it's going to make the noise levels go down. Then for the motherboard, we have a really nice B550M Pro 4 motherboard with enough features and only $90, which is an amazing price. Then for the memory kit, we have 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to be amazing for gaming, content creation and streaming. Then for the storage, we have a 1TB Gen 4 SSD with really nice speeds for just $45. Then for the case, we have the Bitfinex Nova Mesh Micro ATX Mini Tower case. This one comes with 3 pre-installed fans, so you don't have to install any more fans, which is amazing. And on top of that, you get great airflow, a nice front mesh panel, and it fits the motherboard size. And last but not least, the power supply, we have a 600 watt 80 plus volt power supply that's going to meet the requirements for these systems not to explode. The total price is $753 when I'm recording this video. And if you want to save up some money, you can go with the stock cooler and not buy the aftermarket CPU cooler, and you will save up around $20. With the next one, we have the $1,000 1440p high to ultra gaming system. With this PC, you can play any game at 1440p 60 plus FPS on average, even on ultra settings. Well, except the bad optimized games. On a 15 game average at 1440p on high to ultra settings, and we are talking about not only easy to run titles but also hard to run titles, the 7800 XT was able to average 108 FPS. So in my opinion, one of the best GPUs on the market in terms of price to performance, and especially if you don't want to spend more than $1,000 on a gaming PC and you want to get an amazing 1440p gaming experience. And you can also play at 4K resolution, because on that same 15 game average at 4K, it was able to average 62 FPS. And remember, if you lower the settings a little bit, you might be able to get even higher frame rates than this. And of course, it always depends on the game. If you play games like Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5, FIFA, NBA 2K, you will be able to achieve much higher FPS than this, even at 4K resolution. At this price point, you can also consider the RTX 4070, which is about $30 more expensive, and it's going to give you about the same level of performance, but it also has a better level of ray tracing. It has DLSS 3, so if you're really into the Nvidia features, you may consider spending the extra and going with the 4070. Don't worry, you will have all the alternatives in the description as well if you want to buy an Nvidia GPU. Then the rest of the components are the same, except for the power supply. I went with the 650 watt power supply instead of a 600 watt option, and this one is $60. So the total price for this system is $995 when I'm recording this video, and if you want the 4070, it's going to be around $1,030 to $1,050 depending on the RTX 4070 availability. One thing I forgot to mention is that the 7800 XT comes with 16 gigs of VRAM and the 4070 comes with 12 gigs of VRAM, which at 1440p might not be a huge deal breaker, but if you want to upgrade to 4K down the line, the 7800 XT with 16 gigs of VRAM has the advantage. Now, if you have around $1,500, you can get a maxed out experience at 1440p resolution, and I'm going to talk about the perfect $1,500 gaming PC for 1440p. This one has the Ryzen 7 7700, so a whole new platform in the AM5 platform, which is amazing, since if you want to upgrade the CPU down the line, you will not have to upgrade the motherboard, where on the last PCs, if you want to upgrade the CPU down the line, you will have to upgrade the motherboard as well, depending on the CPU that you want. Anyway, this is a great CPU, the 7700. It's an 8-core processor that is going to do amazing with most GPUs on the market, and the GPU I chose for this one is the RTX 4070 Ti. This one is the current graphics card I have on my PC, and I play at 1440p, so I can tell you that the 4070 Ti is one of the best, if not the best, 1440p GPU out there, especially if you want a maxed out experience and you want a 1440p 144Hz monitor or a 1440p 240Hz one. Now, at this price point, you can also consider the RX 7900 XT, which is more expensive at the moment, going for $800, so you will be spending 30 extra bucks if you choose the AMD graphics card. The main differences between the 7900 XT and the RTX 4070 Ti is the VRAM. So let me explain. The 7900 XT has 20 gigs of VRAM and the RTX 4070 Ti has 12. What this means is that if down the line you want to upgrade to 4K resolution, some games might require more than 12 gigs of VRAM to be run on high to ultra settings. So if you want a more upgradable GPU, you may want to consider the 7900 XT, and it's also faster in terms of rasterized performance. Not by a big margin, but still faster. While the 4070 Ti has less VRAM, but it has a better level of ray tracing, it has DLSS 3, which is a better upscaler, and then most content creation and productivity applications work better with Nvidia GPUs. So it comes down to your needs and what you really want. I prefer the 4070 Ti because of my workloads, and I haven't had any issues with it so far. As I said before, if you want a 1440p maxed out experience, you cannot go wrong with any of the two. Anyway, for the rest of the components, we have 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, CL32 timings, which is going to be really fast. Then we have a much better motherboard in the Gigabyte B650 Aorus Elite. This one has a ton of features for gaming. And then we have a 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply, A-tier rated, so amazing quality. The total price when I'm recording this video is $1,530 for the 4070 Ti version and $1,561 for the 7900 XT version. If you want to keep the price under $1,500, you will have an alternative in the description with a lower end motherboard that's going to give you the same exact level of gaming performance, so don't worry about that, and it's going to be $50 cheaper. And then with the best PC on this video, we have the $2,000 system. This one is a 4K gaming PC that is going to give you amazing performance in any game. For the CPU, we have one of the fastest CPUs on the market, if not the fastest, in the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. And then for the GPU, we have the RTX 4080. The RTX 4080 is a 4K GPU that will deliver amazing performance at 4K in any title, except for the games that are not well optimized. The 4080 on a 13 game average at 4K high to ultra settings, it was able to average over 110 FPS, so one of the best graphics cards on the market. In my opinion, the second best GPU, right below the RTX 4090, but the RTX 4090 is much more expensive. Another GPU that you may consider is the RX 7900 XTX. The GPU from AMD will give you about the same rasterized performance, and it's about $120 cheaper. So you might be thinking, well, if it's $100 cheaper and it gives you about the same rasterized performance, why is this not the recommendation? Well, once again, I really like the Nvidia features, and if you have about $2,000 to spend on a system, you may want to go with the 4080 for those extra features and the better level of ray tracing. But surely, if you do not want to go over 2,000 bucks and you want to stay around $1,900, then absolutely go with the 7900 XTX. You will get an amazing performance at a cheaper price. But if you are willing to spend $1,900 on a system, chances are you are also willing to spend about $2,000. But that depends, of course, on your budget and your favorite titles. Because in some games, the RX 7900 XTX has a bigger lead over the 4080, and in others, the 4080 has a big lead over the 7900 XTX. Overall, with both GPUs, you are going to get an amazing 4K gaming experience on high to ultra settings in most titles. Anyway, for the rest of the components, we have a 240 all-in-one liquid cooler for our Ryzen 7. And remember, this Ryzen 7 is the fastest on the market, so if you want to play high CPU demanding titles like Flight Simulator, you will be having an advantage over other CPUs. Then you also get 2TB of Gen 4 SSD instead of 1TB, and more wattage in 850 watts instead of 750. The rest of the components are the same as the $1,500 system, 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, a great motherboard, a really good looking case in the Fantex Eclipse G300A. It comes with one fan, so I added 3 extra fans from Thermalright, and trust me, it is going to look beautiful with really good airflow. The total total price for the RTX 4080 system is $2,030 and the total price for the 7900 XTX PC is $1,900. If you want to keep the price under $2,000 but you want the RTX 4080, you can get 1TB of Gen 4 SSD instead of 2TB and save up $40. And don't worry, you can always upgrade the storage down the line if you need more. And remember that if you want higher end PCs, maybe you want to spend $2,500 or $3,000, or maybe you want to spend even more than this, those PCs will be featured in the description. That way everyone gets a system regardless of your budget. And if you don't want to build a PC yourself, you will have my video on the best Prebuilt PCs of the month in the top right of the screen. Those PCs are ready to play and already built for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for your support, and I will see you on the next one.